20, 10, retard, retard, retard.
Hello, hello, welcome. And just get the sound levels a bit better. There we go, that should be better now. A bit loud. So let's see if we can fine tune this. So testing 1, 2, 3, that's better. I think that should be fine. Hello to F-16 pilot Hydra, how are you doing? Nice to see you. So where are we? We are in Frankfurt. We're already logged in, VATSIM, and it's going to be an interesting flight because I don't know what's going to happen today. We'll talk about all that good stuff in a minute. Hello Mark, nice to see you again. Paul Flies, hello. Giftswerk, hello to you. And Andreas and Robert Worm, good evening. I hope you're all doing good.
Hello, Black Box.
Hello Lee, how's your flight going? I hope it's going well. So, big topic today is wind. So originally I was planning to fly in the 747 from Frankfurt to Tel Aviv, but since we have such a interesting weather situation, I thought we might as well go ahead and do an interesting flight. Right, so that's that. Now, there's something else I need to do. I need to see if I have real turb active. Right, it's not active per se. Yeah, it would have been 3.5 hours, but I mean, you know, from time to time, I do have some longer flights. Right, let me just see why I don't have real turb. That should be real turb. That is weird. Why doesn't that? Oh no, that should be in the background here in P3D, right? Yeah, it should be. So, let's have a look at the topic then today. So, if we look at the flight planning, so we're going Frankfurt to Salzburg, and the flight itself isn't long. However, the weather is very spicy. So when I planned this, they had wind 280, 17 gust 27. Yeah, Lee. Light drizzle, few 1700, scattered 3800, broken 4800, 7 degrees. And the forecast, temporary between 1400 until tomorrow 3 UTC, 20 gust 35. And so that is actually for Salzburg extremely spicy weather. If we go ahead and call up the actual weather at the moment, that is some serious wind, and I've been there in real life in these conditions, and it's not pretty. You can get lots of wind shear, and back then we actually had a wind shear, and that's a topic for today, because who knows, we may encounter wind shear with real turb. That could just be the case. I'm just going to call up some weather around Salzburg. Let's do Vienna as well. Let's do that. Right. Hey, Alpha. Hello. How are you doing? Right. Oh, it's a bit chilly, so I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. We're going to go get... which is not accurate, I will admit that. We're going to get ground air conditioning. And people still seem to be a bit confused about ground air conditioning. It's not that complicated. So what happens is that down here, you're going to have some connections. Let's see if we can find that here in the FSLabs. There we go, air conditioning. So there is a high pressure air inlet which goes into the bleed duct. And there is an air conditioning inlet which does not go into the bleed system. It actually goes straight into the air conditioning distribution duct. Let me just show you that here. And conditioning, there it is. So actually, let's go bleed. Yeah, so it actually goes straight here into that distribution duct. All right, it bypasses everything from the bleed and the pack system. It has nothing to do with that. It goes straight into the distribution system and then is being fed into cockpit, forward and aft section of the cabin. And hence, you cannot manage the temperature from inside the flight deck. You can only do that externally. Hey, Captain Mitchell. And so you can see now the external air is being preconditioned, so around about 28, 26 degrees now. And you'll see the cabin slowly heat up from that. So let me just see. We currently have ground online and tower, and the rest will come online in about 45, 50 minutes from now. So we do have a bit of time. We don't need to rush things. We can prepare everything nice and gentle. I've followed a real-world flight that landed about half an hour ago, and they did the circling 3-3. So that's going to be spicy, and I'm looking forward to that. But let's come back to the OFP. Cancel flying the citation longitude is so much fun. Okay, well, it's interesting. Yeah, Lido, I may try it because I do have the UK 2000 Telluride scenery now installed. Good. So Salzburg, as we mentioned, let me just have a look at the real weather. Our cars, and there we go. So right now, yeah, 17. Well, that's old weather though. And Luke, hello to you. How are you doing? How come we always get the very kind of... There we go. That's the 1750 weather. That's 270-13 gust 27. And maybe I should change that from VATSIM to real world, because I have a feeling that VATSIM very often has old weather. NLN, you have a question. Are the wipers inhibited when the windows are dry? No. 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 So there's a clear instruction to us pilots to not use the wipers when you have a dry windshield, because you can scratch the layer and scratch the protective layer. Hey, Geep. Oh, nice. You just departed and you're going to try the circle to land as well. Nice, Geep. Let me know how it went. Will be interesting to hear that. So, light drizzle and the Munich weather. Currently 260-22, however temporary 25 gust 30. So this airport is starting to have threats as well. Linz is okay. Headwind 25 knots. No significant change. So Linz would be a good candidate. Hey Zishka, how you doing? And Vienna, I look at Vienna. And I had a shared flight with Mark this afternoon in the toll list. We departed Vienna. And yeah, we had 44 gusts, and in 5,000 feet we had 60 knots wind. So that is actually, and wind shear 2.9. So that is definitely not really a candidate for an alternate airport. Amazing Maze, hello to you. Oh, you got blown off your bike. Yeah, here in northern Germany it's also very windy. Yeah. Fabio Lesser, hello to you. Thank you so much. Good. Okay, so let's get back to the OFP. So you can imagine with those forecasts, we don't go in there naked. We want to have some extra fuel. So Munich, as being a further, or an airport that is further away, needs more fuel. That's our first alternate now. So we've included half an hour of extra. Yeah, Lido, I answered. Hang on. Yeah, I answered. The working title, yeah, it's noted. I may try it, yeah. So 5.4 would be the block fuel. But I'll take a bit more because Frankfurt can get crazy. So I'll take 400 kilograms taxi fuel and APU fuel. So we'll go with 5.6 block.
Turning left directed, data function 64.
So let's have a look at the UFP data. Let me change that 5.6 via GSX. So let's order that fuel.
Refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Yeah. Good. So, CTOT 1918, lol. I doubt we make that. So we still don't have the Navigraph, which is a shame, but that's just the way it is. Oh, and I need to do the settings regarding active sky in FSLabs, and I checked all the documents, all the manuals. I couldn't find the settings they recommended. Oh, there we go. So it should be cloud turbulence 20%. Let's have a look then. Cloud options, cloud turbulence. I'll put 30%. Max wind turbulence. Max wind turbulence is supposed to be 20% also. Let's do 30. Barone, hello. Turbulence effect scale 10%. Wow, those are low values, not 20. And enhanced turbulence is off. Hey, Josh, windy in Berlin as well. 25 gusts, 35. Nice. So, we ordered the fuel. We're just going to wait until the fuel truck arrives. I love that clacking sound. I'm running the recommended shader from Henrik right now. So there was a shader program, and I have to admit it's free, isn't it? And it's actually very easy to install. OpenShade it's called, OpenShade, and I applied Henrik's shade. And one effect you'll see later on is that at night time the aircraft isn't so bright, so that should be a lot better. We are on live time, aren't we?
Welcome aboard the Captain Black
Yeah,
Box
we are.
Duo Channel experience. Could new subscribers
Hey,
please
Curly
make their
boy.
way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight infotainment will be served. Thank you.
Good evening, BB. Hope you're well.
Thank you so much. I am, Curly boy. Thank you so much. Actually got some news today, which it's not. I'm not going to announce it yet, but yeah, things are hopefully going my way regarding the type rating on the different aircraft types. So we'll see if that stays that way. So and Coleboy, thank you for the support. That's 4 months, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Right. No, unfortunately not 747. I haven't seen any 747 ratings this year yet, so it doesn't look like they'll have any available, which is a shame. Such a tease. I know. Will you buy the Unibuilds Antonov 2-5? No. No, I don't think that's really my aircraft to buy. I'll try the A380 from Fly-by-Wire, obviously.
Fuel truck is in position.
I may try the
Please don't load aircraft until the
A330
fuel truck
from
arrives and ask to
Airsoft,
do it.
but no promises. The real one, A380? No. No. Okay, let's go through a quick refresher about the wind shear. So we'll talk about the procedures that we have in force, but we'll talk first of all about the different systems available to us in the A320 and FSLabs. So the older aircraft have only one system installed, and that is the reactive wind shear system. And that works together. What can I... Oh, hang on. Let's go back. No. Oh, hang on. Give me that file again, please. There we go. How come I can't enlarge that? Oh, there you go. There we go, that's better. Right, so two systems available.
Choose your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
I did, and they're fueling. All good. So, two systems available. One is the reactive wind shear system, and the other one, the newer one, is the predictive wind shear system. Now you have to understand those two systems are working separately from each other. So while the reactive system works using the FACs, the FACs, so the flight augmentation computers, so the reactive system is being fed by the FACs, and they generated a wind shear warning whenever the predicted energy level for the aircraft falls below a predetermined threshold. So in computing this energy level or level prediction, the FACs use different sources. So from the ADIRs, they get the info like vertical speed, air to ground speeds, and slope. Other sources give them the total slope, the longitudinal wind gradient, and the vertical wind gradient. So that data gets into the FACs, and then the FACs express this energy level as an angle of attack. So it's a computed angle of attack resulting from that energy level, and is compared with the actual angle of attack threshold above which the wind shear conditions are most likely and the pilot action is required. These alerts, when they come very sudden. There is, in my case, when I had my real-world wind shear encounter in Salzburg, it came within like 2 seconds of the aircraft actually just seemingly falling out of the sky. It literally felt like the aircraft is falling out of the sky. And 2 seconds later was like wind shear, wind shear. So again, the reactive is being calculated by the FACS, and once a certain energy level is, it falls below a certain energy level, then the reactive wind shear will activate and give out the following warnings. So it'll give you a wind shear warning red message on the primary flight displays for a minimum of 15 seconds. And you'll hear an oral synthetic voice saying wind shear 3 times. The wind shear system, however, is only active 3 seconds after liftoff, up to 1,300 feet radial altimeter, and during landing from 1,300 feet radial altimeter to 50 feet radial altimeter, and with at least config 1 selected. So when we got our warning, we were like probably around 1,000 feet above the ground. And I can just say that it was dark as well, and it was horrible to get that feeling that you're falling towards the ground. So in wind shear conditions, we have a certain procedure. So we put the thrust levers to the toga notch, and then the flight director will pitch up a certain pitch, which is calculated by the speed reference system. So the speed reference system is a commanded speed at takeoff or go around with 2 engines. So it's V2 plus 10, or for 1 engine, the actual speed at failure, but not less than V2 or more than V2 plus 15. It also commands a minimum vertical speed of 120 feet per minute. That's the speed reference system. So what's the other system that we have? The other system is a predictive wind shear system. Now, this system requires a certain weather radar standard, and here in the FSLabs we actually have that standard. The same thing in the Phoenix. Right, so we have predictive wind shear system. All right, and during our taxi out, we put that to auto, and certain conditions, especially nighttime, we'll have the radar on. Hey, Austrian Rail, how you doing? So, what does that do? Well, the predictive wind shear system scans the airspace for wind shear within a range of 5 nautical miles ahead of the aircraft. What does it need? Well, it uses the weather radar beams, so it needs precipitation. Yeah, it's 5.3, Peter, yeah. Without precipitation, it's unable to pick up any vertical movement of any particles. So you do need a cloud ahead of you that has precipitation, but most of the time, the wind shear that results, or the wind shear that you have, results from things like thunderstorms. But not solely. So you can have wind shear resulting from changing winds. But if you don't have precipitation, you will not get a predicted wind shear. It's just not possible. So the weather radar has a predicted wind shear system that operates when the PWS switch is in auto position. Right? And the aircraft radio height is below 2,300 feet, and either the weather radar is on, position 1 or 2, or weather radar is off, and at least 1 engine is running, and, oh, there should be some more text there. Sorry for that. Not sure why it took that out. I'll give you the rest of the text. A second. That's a typo.
Frankfurt traffic, Steeper 136, Naxo 3 Alpha, arrival, runway 25, left speed
So,
220.
so the weather radar is off and the aircraft ground speed is greater than 30 knots, or the aircraft longitudinal acceleration is above a given threshold during the last 5 seconds. So in other words, even if you have the radar off, as long as you have that predictive wind shear system to auto, you will still get a pop-up with a predictive wind shear if that's detected within the boundaries there. Now, the alerts are inhibited during takeoff above 100 knots and up to 50 feet. So in the high speed regime, you will not get a predictive wind shear anymore. And during landing, alerts are inhibited below 50 feet. So the AURA alerts of predictive wind shear system has priority over TCAS, GPWS, and other flight warning control computer AURA warnings. And they are, however, inhibited by the reactive wind shear detection and AURA messages of stall warnings. So these are the two different systems regarding reactive and predictive systems. FDA 320, how are you doing? So this is where it becomes a bit more complicated for us pilots to determine which procedure we do. Okay, there we go. So we got a more technical description from Toto. Thank you much appreciated. So it's a radial movement towards away from the aircraft. It's Doppler radar. It simply measures the Doppler shift of the droplets along the aircraft axis and detects instant or distant air mass velocity gradient radially. There we go. Thank you much for that. So how do we deal with a reactive wind shear? So if wind shear is detected, both primary flight displays the wind shear message. So on your PFD, you will see wind shear written there. And the wind shear alert sounds 3 times. Now, the flight crew can also call out a wind shear situation whenever they feel that they have or they are in a wind shear. Now, normally there are some kind of points to guide you along. So speed variations in excess of 15 knots. Vertical speed excursions of 500 feet per minute or more. And pitch attitude excursions of 5 degrees or more. So when something happens like that, then the pilots can also call out wind shear. So either a manual call out by the pilots or the automatic wind shear call out at takeoff if it's before V1 and not inhibited. So if there's any significant variation in airspeed and an airspeed trend below the indicated V1, reject the takeoff. The reason for this is that the acceleration will be slower in this case, maybe, depending on the wind shear itself. And so the V1 speed as a criteria to either abort the takeoff or continue the takeoff is then erroneous. So because you're not accelerating the way you would normally do. And so since that V1 determined speed is then erroneous, you should reject the takeoff before V1. If after V1 we go thrust levers toga and reaching the rotation speed, rotate, and then we follow the SRS orders. And if necessary, the crew may pull back the side stick fully aft. Do I have issues with FSLabs? I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, it can happen. Yeah, sometimes... yeah, it could happen, yeah. So if the flight director bars are not displayed, move to initial pitch of 17.5 degrees, and then if necessary, prevent loss in attitude, increase the pitch attitude. So initially, if you don't have flight directors, go 17.5 degrees and go from there. It's starting to rain now. Now, if you are airborne, initial climb or during the landing phase, any wind shear, reactive wind shear call out, thrust levers toga, set or confirm, autopilot, if engaged, keep on. The autopilot is actually really good at flying a wind shear procedure. And again, SRS orders follow, and if necessary, crew may pull the side stick fully aft. For the notes, autopilot disengages if the angle of attack goes above the alpha prot. And if the flight director bars are not displayed, yeah, again, move towards an attitude of 17.5 degrees, and so on. Important thing, when you are in a wind shear situation, do not change configuration, slats, flaps, gear, until out of the wind shear. Closely monitor flight path and speed, and that's normally a topic for the pilot monitoring, to call out altitude and any vertical speed changes and airspeed changes. And then recover smoothly to a normal climb out of wind shear. And once out of the wind shear, proceed normally with a go-around procedure. Or some typos in there I need to fix. So, what about the predictive wind shear alerts? So when we have a red wind shear ahead warning on takeoff, with a synthetic voice, wind shear ahead, before takeoff, obviously, we delay the takeoff. And so you would say, well, how can you get that alert if you're not even moving? Well, I've actually had that happen once when we lined up and the radar scanned the area ahead of us. The radar predictive wind shear system then actually caught an area where it determined that there is wind shear. So we delay the takeoff or select the most favorable runway. So back then actually we went from 18, we departed then runway 07. So that can help. Right, if it's during the takeoff run, reject the takeoff. And again, the predicted wind shear alerts are inhibited above 100 knots until 50 feet radial altimeter. If you're airborne, thrust levers toga. However, and that's a big change to the reactive wind shear, if you determine that you're not in the actual wind shear, and you have to realize it's a predictive wind shear. It means it gives you warning ahead of time before you enter that region. And on your nav display, you will actually be shown in a corridor where that wind shear should happen. So what you could do theoretically is you could actually change the lateral path to get out of that area where the predicted wind shear is actually happening. And also, as long as you're not in the wind shear, you can change the configuration. So configurations, flaps gear can be changed provided the wind shear hasn't been entered. That's a difference to the reactive wind shear. Right, so questions coming in. Oh yeah, I saw that video as well, Paul. Yeah, from Metapilot. Yeah, I mean it's always very, very kind of interesting to see how much you move the yoke in the 737 in that case. Ayush, hey Blackbox, but what do you do if one primary flight display has speed greater V1 but other below V1? Huh? How would that be the case? Now you wouldn't have one PFD higher V1 and the other one below V1, because then you have another problem. You have a disagreement between the airspeed indicators. So that's kind of different matter. So the pilot flying call out is wind shear toga, exactly. Yeah, so there is actions we do and there's call outs we do. And the reason we do the call outs is that so everybody in the flight deck is in the same boat, as we say. Right? There's no second guessing. So if I as pilot flying, without commenting, slam the thrust levers into the toga notch and do not make a call out, that could confuse the pilot monitoring. Because he would like say, all right, are you doing a go around or are you doing the wind shear procedure? Right, so yeah, very clear call out. Wind shear toga. What are items for high speed RTO? Fire, engine fail, wind shear, and flight control issues. Well, normally, what the pilot in command will determine above 100 knots on A320 for which items he will abort a takeoff. Now, you always, until V1, you always have to reject a takeoff for thrust loss, aircraft not controllable, or an ATC call. Right. However, in the high-speed regime, And be aware that you have a takeoff inhibition phase. So a lot of warnings, cautions are being inhibited. But there are certain warnings and cautions coming through, like flight control stick issues, engine oil, reverser, engine fire. So these kind of warnings that come through may then be determined to either be a case where you continue in case you have a short runway, for example, and you don't have much stop margin. The PIC may then say go, or continue depending on your procedures. We would say go, to then go and deal with the problem once you're airborne and higher than 400 feet radar altimeter. So it's not black and white, Josh. It's you know, I can't say always it's always for this and always for that. There are certain items where you always abort to take off, but there's also items and warnings, cautions where you would continue. Another thing would be a tire failure in the high-speed regime. Right? Yeah, like I mentioned, many different things that you have to kind of have a pre-canned decision as a captain. I can't find explanation. The explanation for the EFB on the website. It should be there, but I would need to check that as well. Good. Okay, so that was doing when airborne. Now, when landing, again, predictive wind shear. So wind shear ahead. We do a go around, right? So we go around to perform, autopilot if engaged, keep on, and we may change laterally to get out of that area, or not go into the predicted wind shear area laterally. So again, autopilot disengages if the angle of attack goes above alpha prot, and the flight director bars are not displayed. Move towards the initial altitude of 17.5, and so on. Hey Voyager, good evening. He will definitely continue with all brakes fail. Yeah. That is a certainty. Right, good. So, last thing to cover is then the... actually, no, we did everything, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We talked about everything. That's cool. So, that's the theory. Ugh, yuck. What is this? Wow, it's getting busy now. Look at that. We've got delivery online now. Ground, tower. GG. Nostalgia stream? No. No. But like we mentioned, we are going back from time to time. So let's go and start boarding.
Boarding requested. Passengers boarding starting.
Lol. Okay, so let's go and go through the... Oh, that's good, Voyager. That's good to hear. So let's go through the preparations here, and we've got the A page filled out, also initially Munich.
Gepäckse auf dem Platz unter dem Vordersitz, außer in der ersten Reihe und in den Notausgangsreihen. Vielen Dank. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Please also use the space under the seats in front of you for storing your hand luggage, unless you're sitting in the first row.
What's the neutral point? What do you mean neutral point? You mean the trim? Mr. Jingle, hi. So here the 320 Sharklets is about what, 28.5? Somewhere in that region. So Cosnex 5, let's check that. Yeah, Cosnex 5. And we are on the current database. We are in the CFM 565B4. So that's all correct. Now, shouldn't we have... Wasn't like minus 3.0? And plus 1.5 or something? Lee knows that best. Voyager likes the flight so well.
Hello.
Oh, you're getting very technical now, FDR 320. But let me ask you this then. Why would you want to know that? What operational advantage do you get from knowing that? So 59.1 is what we estimated. Hey, Mr. Jingle, fantastic. So, block fuel. We set 5.6, right? Yeah, 5.6. Yeah, that's, FDR 320, that's something I've been talking about from time to time. And because I do get questions sometimes like, black box, how much of the stuff that you learned during your ATPL phase, how much of that do you still know?
I'm right next to it.
And if I'm honest, I would definitely not be able to pass all of the ATPL theory tests right now. Because there is such a lot of specifics that if you don't learn and revise that, just like you do before you get the ATPL test, you will not know it, because afterwards you will, in most cases, you will never get in contact again with these topics, because there's a theoretical side of aviation and there's a practical side of aviation. And what you're missing in the ATPL phase, for example, is all your knowledge about the aircraft, let's say an A320, and the operational procedures for your airline, etc., etc., country regulations, all that stuff that goes on top of that ATPL. No, I'm not offended. I'm just, sometimes I get like these questions and I'm like, yeah, okay, I admire people that have that knowledge. And if you were able to tell me now in a couple of sentences why the coefficient of moment is independent of the angle of attack of the aircraft. If you are able to tell me that in 3 sentences, perfect. I'm always happy to learn some more stuff. But yeah, from the practical side, it's difficult to keep up a extremely high level of knowledge that includes all of the ATPL theory that you go through in your training. Yeah, so Mr. Jingle, that's one thing. The other thing is that's difficult to do is, how do you know if you have forgotten something? Your brain doesn't tell you, all the time, hey, you know what? You don't know how to calculate the sunrise time at 53 degrees north, 70 degrees west. You just forget some stuff, and then once you are trying to access that piece of knowledge in your brain, then suddenly you realize it's gone, right? That's a nasty thing to find out. So for a pilot and any other profession, let's say, where you need certain data at a certain time, but not always, you have to kind of motivate yourself to continuously go back into your books. So not only the stuff that you come across every day, that's easy. So of course, the stuff that you have to deal with every day, perfect. You know that, right? You won't lose that knowledge. But anything else outside of that, after a while, you will lose that knowledge. and so it's difficult to understand what you've forgotten, and hence you need the motivation and the kind of, you know, the professionalism to continuously go back again and look through your manuals and procedures, etc., etc. Hey John and Captain Falafel, hello to you. Right, let's get back to the preparations. Yeah, so FDR 320, no worries. You know, you haven't offended me. Yeah. So, if you're talking about the limitations, the forward and aft CG limitations, I mean, we do get information on that. Right, so if you want to have a look at the load index at zero fuel weight, for example, or the zero fuel weight CG, the takeoff CG, as a pilot, you will have boundaries available to you. And that's the practical side again, right? And the fact that I'm flying so many different variants, and those values, believe it or not, they can actually change within a certain aircraft type. So if I'm flying A319, we have several different generations of A319s that have different dry operating indices or dry operating weights. The dry operating weights would change over time, because yeah, there's certain dirt that gets accumulated. You have structural repair work done that requires, you know, slabs of metal to be bolted onto the fuselage. So the weights, operating weights, will change over time in these aircraft. So it's a dynamic process over time. Hey, British Moose, how you doing? Yeah, Flying Wolf. Yeah, exactly. Right, so let's see, what else do we do? So we're going to go from runway 18, although let me go and get the ATIS to see what wind we have, because the wind or the weather's just changed. While we're here, we'll check the fuel value. Supply difference is 0. We'll send that off. So currently we have information Lima. That's from 1820 UTC. That's fine. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a database for each aircraft, and then when we get our load sheet, which has been prepared by an office, by professionals, and then we get exactly that kind of sheet that you just saw there. We get that kind of printout, and there we'll have the specifics regarding dry operating weight, dry operating indices, etc., etc. So from a practical point of view, we as pilots, we just make sure that we stay within the limitations, right, for takeoff, for landing, and for zero fuel. Is it really? So Salzburg's getting better. Okay, we'll have a look in a minute. Let me just go back to the ATIS again. 59.1, latest update. Then that's good. So we have runway 25 center, 18 in use. The wind, we're going to have a bit of tailwind. Going to have to, and gusting up to 22 knots. Now that's not so nice, because we've got 15 knot wind limit here for tailwind, but we're going to get there, aren't we? Let's see. Close. Not quite there yet, but let me just check. So wind component, we got 177, and the wind direction is 310. And the speed 22. So, oh, actually, if it's actually 310 at 22, that's 60 knots tailwind. So that will actually be above our limit. So we've got to monitor that. But we'll calculate with 50 knots tailwind. Showers of rain, so wet runway. QNH 1027, that changed. No sick. Right, so for now we'll plan for runway 18. And that was the Cindy for Sierra departure. And for Salzburg, it's going to be interesting. So they are landing 3-3 in real life as well. So there's the flight. So let's look at Salzburg. And I think we're arriving via Bardit, so we'll have that one stored. Now, here in the sim, we've got a RMP Victor visual. So that will be likely the one we're going to fly. At least that's the one that the inbound aircraft flew a couple of minutes ago. Actually.
Meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen bei uns an Bord. Bitte nutzen Sie zum Verstauen des Anfliegens auf dem Platz unter dem Vordersitz.
Yeah, Lucas, yeah, that's what I think as well. So we'll save the Victor approach,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
which will be a challenge for sure.
The space under the seats in front of you for stowing your hand luggage, unless you're sitting in the first row.
So let's find that here, runway 33 Victor. And it's going to be departed to Romeo arrival, I assume. Yeah, so let's check that on the nav display real quickly.
Boarding completed.
Boarding completed. Oh, I'm falling behind here. Approach via. It says no via, so that's the missed approach point there. So that's all we're going to have. So let's just scroll through that real quickly. Bamboo, Elma, etc. Radar. And there we go, Salzburg. Now, from Salzburg, it should actually be either holding or we'll go and follow that RMP approach Victor. Do you fly X-Plane 11? And, well, actually, yeah, I'm a real-world pilot. I'm indeed a real-world pilot. And I do use everything, really. P3D, I use X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12, and Microsoft Flight Sim, VCS. Well, P3D, if you take the academic version, how much is that now? $60, $70? But what is expensive is the fact that you have to buy lots of add-ons for it. And then, seriously, we talk about €500 or $500 plus, easily. Is it really? You've not been able to change the limit? Even if you change that in FlightSim config, that's weird. Yeah, so Dimitri, I have never managed. I've never managed to get that viewpoint correct. I think the alignment of these balls here is not correct in the FSLabs, or at least if I try to align those, so I would need to be a lot more further forward. Look at that. So, you know, then I go down. I feel as if I'm sitting right in front of the glare shield, to be fair. So, yeah, I don't do that. Good. So, the issue we have is that we don't have that waypoint stored, I think. I can try to see if that's in a fixed page. But I think Navigraph, although it may have it, let's just check. It does have it. Oh, that's interesting. So what we could do on the secondary flight plan, so let's do that actually. Let's copy the primary flight plan and then we'll go and scroll through the waypoints. And then we'll have a look here. So Salzburg, 833, 834, 835, and then I'm not sure if it's going to take it now, but oh yeah, that's there. And then it's 837. Let's try that as well. Now, you see, that's the thing. It gives me that as a missed approach. Yeah, so it doesn't do that. All right. In this case, we'll do a... we'll do it differently in flight then. So we'll go and do new destinations in the secondary. Frankfurt, arrivals 25 center. And so we'll have 25 center, no star, no via. That's a quick return. Engine out, fix info. 177 degrees. And we can do that to 25 miles. Are they Yankee? No, I don't think so. No, they are Victor waypoints. What are the silent text? I think they don't pop up. You don't get that pop up here on the EFB, correct? I've never switched them off, so I'm not 100% sure. Good, so we've done that. So we've got init A page, B page, flight plan page. RapNav will put read in there. So what's missing now is the performance. And we have the final load sheet now. So let me enter those values there. So we've got 59 tons refuel weight, takeoff 64.4. And we have block 5.6, CG 31.5. That's interesting. I'm not sure why it's giving me 31.4. So there we go. And for the trim, we'll have a look at the load sheet here. No, we'll get that through the performance calculator here. So, takeoff performance. Echo Delta Delta Fox. So now we've got to be careful. I am going to force 22 knots of wind in there. Or disregard. I'll put 357 at 15. Exactly. Tailwind 15 knots. Temperature. We'll put 10. QNH 1026, wet runway obviously. 64.4, that's the CG, and we'll take 18 Lima. Lima Whiskey 3, so that's 200 meter shift. Put that in there. And let's calculate that. No, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to program these two waypoints additionally so that we have a indication on our nav display which helps us with the navigation. And then we can also determine the altitudes that we should be at these waypoints. That's what I tried to do. So, config 3, nah. Let's force config 1 plus F. So still, I guess that's maximum flex. We've got 1,000 meter stop margin, even with the 15 knot tailwind. So tailwind component 15 knots, that's all fine. All right. So there we go. That's the delivery that we're flying today. Zulu X-ray. Let's start the APU. That's all done. That's done. Cool. Right, so but I need to do two more things. Anti-ice should be on at 9 degrees, and let's have a look if we could do that with air conditioning on. So let's see. Let's check the flag. Yeah, there we go. That costs a couple of degrees of flex. So if we do air conditioning off, hey, good EV, flying boy. Yeah, that's 2 more. Let's do that. So try to remember that later on. Air conditioning off, flex 66. A couple of different speeds here as well. So engine anti-ice on and air conditioning off. Nice. One more thing to do before we're able to depart. And so we got NEDP 2, 1360, 1360. And the engine out acceleration is 1900, although we'll add that a little bit. We're going to put that to 2500 so that we can get radar vectors the minute that we have the engine secured. Shift is in. Right. That's all the preparations. Let me go ahead and get the pre-departure clearance. Although, let me just check something here real quickly. Where was the options? Payload. Just to make sure that we actually have, we have the correct weights in there. That's cool. Flying Wolf, I know that from real life. I know that from real life because otherwise it's very difficult to see that data. So doors should be closed. Yeah, they're all closed. Let's go. ATSU, AOC menu, ATC request, pre-departure clearance. We are Lufthansa 71 Bravo. ATIS currently is Lima. We are at gate, I think it's 24. Yeah, Alpha 24. Even though they don't read that, just for the laughs. Are you good, V? Let's send it off. Is the FSLabs better than the Phoenix? Well, yeah, in principle it is. It's a completely finished product, very mature. It's missing a couple of features, but not that many. And so if you look at all the things with integration with GSX and CBA DLC, PDC, the weather, active sky, all those things, I personally feel that it is better, yeah. So, while we wait for the clearance, there we go, PDC received. It's being processed, stand by, that's good. Hey MCK, how are you doing? Right. I'm doing well, thank you. MCK, you looking forward to the weekend, I guess? Another question for you, MCK. Do you still fly P3D and FSLabs, or have you given up on that? Does the real world send PDC? Yes. There's so many airports where you get PDC. You do, MCK. Okay, nice. I didn't realize that. The Yankee coding. I'll do that after we cross 10,000 feet, because then we go copy the secondary, copy the primary again into the secondary. And then in the secondary, I can try that. Is it normal again to switch the packs off on takeoff? Yeah, it is. It's normal procedure. Yeah. Ooh, taking their time, aren't they? But then again, it's busy. Look at that. Aircraft inbound, aircraft outbound. Departing there. Beautiful. Just there. And I guess landing 25 right as well. Not seeing anyone. Oh, look at that. Nice. Well, Captain Ray, that's the thing, right? There's people that are very visually orientated. And then there's people that are more into the system simulation of a flight sim. So it depends on what kind of type of person you are, and you know, it's fine to be either, right? And the important thing is, here comes a PDC, the important thing is that you enjoy your flight sim. And it doesn't matter which one it is. It doesn't matter which add-on it is. It's important that you enjoy it. But I kind of sometimes, you know, it kind of annoys me sometimes, people saying, oh, P3D looks cartoonish, or X-Plane looks cartoonish. And, well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that I care so much about it. I care more about how aircraft fly and how the systems are simulated. I could go on a rant, and I've been on a rant many times about Microsoft Flight Sim. So yeah, like I said, you know, don't get offended if I'm against a certain aircraft add-on. Important thing is that you guys enjoy the add-ons that you've bought and you are using. So, Cindy 4 Sierra, runway 18, climb 4,000 feet, squawk 1,000. And request a startup on 1219. That means we're not cleared startup. That is just the departure and en route clearance. And that's it. So we have received the clearance and confirmed it. So that completes the cycle, just as if we had called in by voice to get our departure clearance. So 1219. For the clearance. And we also have that here on the EFB as well, which is nice. Good, so we can do a briefing. So we are departing runway 18, and the SID, just get my MCD open, and Navigraph. So the SID for Frankfurt is the Cindy 4 Sierra. That's the one that we would have also going to Munich. Now let me find the overlay. Departure. Man, there's so many charts here, isn't it? Cindy 4 Sierra. There we go. Overlay. That's the one we want. So we can check the waypoints. It's 800 feet, then Delta Fox 158, max 220 knots. There it is. Actually, on the prime flight display. Oh, the nav display, you see that better. Then we turn left to 159, 2,500 or above. Interesting, right now it's showing 2,400 with a magenta star. I find that quite interesting because that must be due to the weight and the tailwind. And let me try that. That may help. There we go. Now we're 3,000 there, so that's fine. I try to avoid knowing things by heart, but yeah, I've seen this one once or twice. Next is then Amtix, and then we go to Cindy. So that's correct. And the departure frequency will be 136.13. Just going to check if we actually have that online. I don't see that online. 13613, no. So yeah, we'll get that later then. Okay, good. So transition 5000 and contact landing radar and advised by tower. Yeah, we shall do so. Good. So the first cleared altitude was 4,000 feet, and the sector altitude is 3,500. Contour layer wise, we should be clear in 2,500. So that's that. And let's check 4,000 there. 4,000 is checked. Extra fuel and time. So we have about... I'm surprised about that value because we should have, I think, about, according to OFP, half an hour extra. So we got 1,200 plus 1,400 kilograms. I find that quite optimistic, but we'll see. We'll see what happens later. Cool. So according to flight plan, we have about half an hour extra fuel. Taxi out, we have very likely the following routing. We'll probably go November 7, November, and then full length, very likely. We may get Lima if there's a heavy jet waiting there. Or we may get Lima, but that's pretty unlikely though today. We've got to be careful here with November 11, so usually we get hold short November 10. And this aircraft coming down November 11, they usually have right of way. So it should be handling Sierra departures in the Sierra. Okay, well, we'll see. So you mean 25-35? Okay. Cool. Starting off the runway that your parents were protesting against. Well, I understand why they protested. I do understand that. So we have November 7, November. I don't see any hot spots apart from the November 11 taxiway. Stop margin for the RTO. We saw that we had about, what was it, 700 meters now? Yeah, 800 meters stop margin. So that's not critical. We will abort the takeoff until V1 for thrust loss, aircraft not controllable, ATC call, and all of the warnings, cautions coming through the inhibition phase. In case of engine failure after V1, we continue with gear up, obviously, toga power consider, and we'll continue straight out 177 degree track. 25 miles if we have to, otherwise acceleration is in 2,500 feet. And then once the engine is secured and we have 2,500, then we'll go left downwind heading. If we're on fire and we have to land quickly, we'll stay in 2,500, do a short pattern to land on 25 center or 25 left. Both runways have 4,000 meters. We'll be below max landing weight already, so no problem there. And if it's not so serious, then we'll just continue 4,000 feet, normal radar vectors. And again, a landing 25 center or 25 left. Specials, nothing for departure. Threats, tailwind, careful with the rotation, tail strike risk. But apart from that, I don't see anything else. Unless you guys see something else. The minimum radar vector altitude 2000. It could be MCK because they built some pretty high wind turbines near Darmstadt, so it could be 2,700 now. Yeah. Yeah. So, without going into too much detail, Mas, there's always 3 different cases for takeoff that you have to calculate. One concerns your runway length, i.e. the field length limit. Then you have a second segment climb limit that requires a certain climb percentage, depending on 2-engine, 3-engine, 4-engine. Or as a third limitation, you have obstacle limitation. So in your departure, engine out departure route, you check all of the obstacles that are in your way. Main threat is VATSIM, that's true. Yeah, that's true. VATSIM is a threat. All right, no, it's not. They're good. All right, so, and that's a different calculation altogether. So you have 3 different calculations that is being done by your EFB, luckily. And the most limiting is going to be your limitation for takeoff. And so our limitation for takeoff is the field length limit. I would agree. Normally, I would expect the performance limited takeoff weight to be 73.5. I'm not sure why the FSLabs does that differently. If that's your question, I would agree. I would expect that also to be 73.5, and that's because of the tailwind, obviously. Do you have any tips for flying on VATSIM for the first time? Hey, Pineapple Wizard, how you doing? Choose an aircraft that you're very familiar with. That's the first thing. And then go to an airport that's not so complicated. Yep, exactly. So, yeah, 35 feet if I remember correctly, and that's to gear up. Yeah, hold on. I don't know. Hang on. This is no other way around. MCK, gear up to level of altitude. Man, I had the file. Let me just check. I've got these files. Give me a second. I'll find them. Takeoff performance. Takeoff performance. No, that's something different. Right, there we go. That's, for example, just the limitation for takeoff. So the field length limit takeoff, that's all the cases that are being calculated for the field length. And that's the second segment limitation for us. So to engine 2.4% from gear up until 1,500 feet AGL. That's for us the second segment limit. And then you have the obstacle limit, the third case that's being calculated. You look at all the obstacles in the departure path, and it's from gear up. You need 35 dry or 17 wet to get all of these obstacles. And that's a gross, a net flight path, and the gross flight path you have to add a certain percentage to that net flight path, and that's 0.8% for 2 engines, and that gives you then that gross flight path that you have to achieve with your takeoff weight. So that's the 3 cases that you are seeing on the EFB there. Where's the document? It's on the subscriber channel on our Discord. I did make a workshop on that some time back. Nicely low, yeah. Yeah, let me know how that all goes. Right, so I was going to go with connections. Let's disconnect the ground AC, chocks, GPU, and let's request a pushback. And then we'll go ahead and call ready.
I'm taking your call sign.
I request push and start. I was disconnected for a second, so I don't know if my
415, yeah, stand by. I gotta give you new clearance to number 4 for clearance.
Uh-oh.
1306, Frankfurt apron.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
1306, information Mike is current cleared London Heathrow.
Oh, Mike.
Super 2 Lima departure. Flight planned route, climb via split 4000.
Kination 1027.
Departure check completed. Light has been
Flight
inserted.
break, fueling 456 X-ray roll position.
Cleared London via Super 2 Lima departure, climb and maintain 4000 feet, squawk 2045, Lufthansa 1306.
The 1306 just confirms the Sopra 2 Lima departure.
Yes, correct. Sopra 2 Lima departure for Lufthansa 130.
Correct.
Look, 167 X-ray, we can
What, taxi?
67 X-ray. Are you able for intersection 18 runway, intersection Lima for runway 18?
Yes, sir.
67 X-ray, roger, I call you back. Lufthansa 877,
Exit
taxi
info.
via Lima, November 8, hold short of November.
They're busy.
Taxiway Papa to hold short of November 11, Condor 170.
Stand by.
And delivery Lufthansa 71 Bravo. If you have the time, we're fully ready. No, it's plus 9 degrees, sir.
456 X-ray, advise able to depart runway 18 intersection Lima.
Release parking brakes.
Intersection Lima, rolling 456 X-ray.
Station calling for taxi second. 6 Kilo Papa, runway 25 center, taxi via November, November 1, hold short of Lima.
November 1, hold short of Lima.
Under ground, you're ready for 6 Charlie, radio check.
The stations, fueling 456 X-ray taxi via Lima to holding point runway 18.
456 X-ray was...
How come he's doing the ground as well? We've got ground online.
Cabin crew, all doors in flight.
Why does it do...
Walker 2935 on tackle.
6-2-3-1, requesting airport to get...
Meine Damen und Herren, ich begrüße Sie alle ganz herzlich.
Release parking brakes.
Station calling for clearance, contact delivery on 121.9.
We are on 1219.
Frankfurt Grand Low 895 very taxi.
Airline 895, taxi to holding point runway 18 via November 7, November.
18 via November 7, November 895. 69 Delta 4 information Mike request IFR clearance to Paris Charles.
We are on 1219.
Stand by.
Together with my colleagues, I will be responsible for the cabin service on flight today. Please fasten your seatbelt now and pull it tight. Please make certain that your mobile phones and all other electronic devices will
You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, like seriously.
If you would like to know more about using electronic devices on board, please read the information in your Lufthansa magazine. My colleagues and I, we hope to make your stay with us pleasant.
Using 456 X-ray, contact tower 124.
Release parking brakes.
With tower on 124, decimal 850, danke, tschüss.
Offer 2935 on frequency.
Meine Damen und Herren,
Walker 695 area.
ladies and gentlemen, we would like to acquaint you with our safety procedures.
Last station, take off again.
Das Visierensitz kurz schließen und wieder öffnen können. Your seatbelt is fastened and unfastened like this.
Austrian 45 Papa, I call you back to number 4.
Sollte der Druck in der Kabine sinken, bei
And delivery Lufthansa 71 Bravo, fully ready.
ziehen Sie einen Massengang zu sich herunter, um den Sauerstoffluss zu starten.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, for the proof for pushback, contact apron 121.850, bye bye.
Okay, start approved and pushback 121850. Thank you, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Yay!
Under 178 Frankfurt apron, hello, expect Victor 158 taxi via November 11.
Release parking brakes.
Cover your mouth and nose with the mask.
Wow, it's raining. Look at that. Jeez.
Lufthansa 67 X-ray, taxi to holding point runway 18 intersection Lima via Lima.
Apron Gudevi, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Alpha 24 requesting push.
71 Bravo, Frankfurt, apron hello, pushback, approved, back west.
Push approved, face west,
Commenting
Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
All engines clear.
Yeah!
Start
Whoa!
Lufthansa 610, all systems are working now. I have
It's
trouble
raining
with the
cats and
control
dogs,
system.
or just
I will
dogs, I don't know.
now,
So,
I will
before
now
start
continue
checklist.
taxi
Parker brake off, takeoff speed,
via
thrust.
November
B1 150,
7,
VR 150,
runway
V2 151. And flex 66. Windows. Closed. Closed. Blimey. Oh. And the beacon is on. Right. Engine start. Let's wait for the pressure to build. Fuel pumps are on. Bleed is on. Fantastic. Good pressure. Engine 2 start. Is that raining in Frankfurt, Blanche? Really? Well, something's going wrong.
Back with the word exit. Illuminated strips on the floor will guide you to the exits. Remember that the nearest exit may be located behind you. Meine Damen und Herren, nur noch der Hinweis, dass dieser Flug ein Nicht-Raumflug ist. Ladies and gentlemen, this flight is a non-smoking flight.
That's parking brake. Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Engine 1 start. I have no idea what active sky is calling light. I don't want to know what's heavy rain showers. If that is light rain showers. Blimey. Austrian Gaming Channel, hello, how are you doing?
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Oh, you bet. Oh, you bet the first officer did the walk around. Aye. Absolutely. Right, so let's do the items here. Flaps 1. So, yeah. Flag control check, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full
Left
right.
is clear, right is clear.
Neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Just gonna wait for the all clear signal. I don't know. Ah, there he is. And come on, there it is, all clear. So after start checklist, well, let's do engine anti-ice. Engine anti-ice is on. ECAM status checked. Pitch trim 30.5%, and rudder trim neutral.
4.850,
Lufthansa 610, which taxiway should I use, Lima or November?
Station calling, taking your call sign.
Lufthansa 610.
Lufthansa 610, please pay more attention, hold short of November for now.
Okay.
Under 178, it seems like someone just spawned at Victor 158, you can take Victor 157.
We're taking Victor 157 from the 157.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, request taxi.
The 71 Bravo, Roger, stand by. The 67 X-ray, contact tower 124.850. 124.850, Lufthansa 67 X-ray.
Frankfurt Apron, Bude, Lufthansa 9 und Papa.
Station calling second.
Lufthansa 9 Papa Zulu up.
9 Papa Zulu, Frankfurt 8 hello, expect Bravo 10.
Expect Bravo 10, 9 Papa Zulu.
The 161 taxi via November, hold short of November 7.
Taxi via November, holding short of November 7.
Center 610, taxi to holding point runway 18 via November.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Taxiing
we will
to
take the cabin light now. You find the personal reading light
18
above your
via
seat.
November.
The 9 Alpha taxi via November 11, hold short of November. Scandinavian 55 Yankee, contact Tower 118, decimal 775, ciao.
Eben genannt die Austrian 245 und San Victor 160.
Oh, hey, that wind.
Then 245, Frankfurt 8 hello, start up a book.
Start up a book, start 245.
Lol.
Station calling second.
That's a Neo.
907 Victor, Frankfurt 8 hello, pushback approved.
November Zulu. The circling, yeah, right.
Please 96, Frankfurt Vorfeld, hello.
Yeah, right.
Diese 96, verstanden. Mike ist korrekt, aktive Pisten alle 25 und die 18. Das Tuna 1027 anlassen genehmigt. Bestätigen diesen als.
Oh, VFR as well. Jeez.
Positiv
6, verstanden. Dann Squawk 4447 und rollen Sie über Sierra 23, halten Sie bei Romeo.
GG's that he's actually doing that in German as well. Blimey.
Über Sierra 823, halten Frau Romeo, QNH.
Perfect VFR weather. I agree. I fully agree. Lufthansa 7 Bravo still standing by for taxi.
The 71 Bravo, runway 18 taxi via November 7 November.
November 7 November, runway 18, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. So, clear left side, clear right side. Let's go.
State Alpha 30 ready.
1306, Frankfurt 8 hello, stand by 1 outbound taxi, sir.
Brake check.
And Victor 1.
Brakes are working.
Taxi.
897, Frankfurt 8 hello, advise able to depart runway 18.
Special VFR, yeah, definitely. I always find special VFR very, very
55 Yankee,
brave,
Frankfurt 8.
to put it this way.
Is the 161 taxi to holding point runway 18 via November.
Hey Haslagen, how you doing? It's a stupid idea, I agree. I mean, it's so marginal, and
07 Fox,
I wouldn't do
runway
it,
18
for
taxi
sure.
via November 5 November, hold short of November 7.
So the good thing is we've got the clearance to taxi all the way. We don't have to hold short.
Guten Abend, KLM 7 Juliet at Papa 1 holding short.
The 71 Bravo at November give way to the EasyJet A320 from left to right.
At November giving way to the EasyJet left right inside Lufthansa 7 Bravo.
807 able intersection Sierra.
Mail 897 Roger.
Right, that's
taxi
the
holding
easy-
point runway 18 intersection Sierra via Lima.
Give way to that, obviously.
Are you able for intersection Lima?
I've already set the viewpoint for the circling later on.
Intersection Lima.
897, yeah, intersection Lima.
Intersection Lima with 897.
I know, Paul, I thought the same thing.
Individual 897 confirm you're able for intersection Lima?
I was like, EasyJet at Frankfurt? Yeah, right.
Able intersection Lima.
897 Roger, taxi to holding point runway 18 intersection Lima via Lima.
Taxi 1 point 118 intersection Lima via Lima with 897.
Oh, that's...
Juliet Frankfurt 8.
What is he doing?
106, taxi via Papa 1 November.
There's
North,
no slewing
November 15,
on VATSIM.
short of November.
Wow, look at that.
Expect Victor 10.
So, taxi checklist, flight controls checked, flaps setting, config, 1 plus F. Radar, predictive wind shear system, on and auto.
Taxi via Papa 1 November North, November
Engine load
15,
selector,
hold short of
normal.
Taxi via Papa 1
And
November North,
ECAM memo,
November
takeoff
15,
no blue,
November
and that's the
15.
taxi checklist completed. Let's put that to auto.
Last station calling, taking your call sign.
Ha! MCK, don't jinx it.
231 Frankfurt 8 and load squawk 203.
Don't jinx it. But MCK, that's something I've seen so many times. That there's a big cell, like, you know, 3 or 4 miles out, and people will still depart. And I'm like, well, what about engine failure? Do you have a... Did you calculate your path?
610, contact tower 124.
You know, 34 degrees left or right of track?
Windmill 897, contact tower 124.8.
Pathogen? I'm not sure. Well, I've done so many of them on my streams.
The 7 Tango Victor, Frankfurt 8 and low, expect Alpha 16, taxi via November 5, November, hold short of November 7.
And it's really simple. You just simply use the fixed pages. So you go line select key 1 left, then 1 right. You have 4 pages where you can program waypoints. So I've selected runway 18, track 177 degrees, and I've selected 25 miles, which is there. Jesus. And you could program all kinds of stuff in there. That's just so off-putting. That rain. Blimey.
161, contact tower 124.850.
That's better.
Then 1 Bravo, hold short of November South and contact tower 124.850.
Hold short November South, 124.850, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Right, November South, hold short. Let's do that. Target named Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo Tower, hallo. I have for November South detection.
AFM, Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
71 Bravo taxi November South, hold to the Tower 18.
Taxi November South, hold short 18, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Yes! VIP service here.
61 Tower, yeah. 61 Tower, good evening. There's traffic in front of you.
Stream approaches.
Anything, I've just followed him. You can ignore him or taxi here November South to the holding point.
But taxi behind the Lufthansa.
Thank you. Windmill 807, identified select Langräder 136, decimal 125, Joe.
136, decimal 125.
See ya.
Windmill 71 Bravo, wind 290 degrees, 11 knots, runway 18 for takeoff.
We'll line up 185 November South, clear takeoff 18 Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Oh.
161 behind departing Lufthansa with A320 in front, line up runway 18 behind.
So, lineup checklist. Packs go off as well. Take off runway 18 Lima, November South. TCAS, TARA, and the packs are off. Wow, that came quickly. Let's go. tailwind. So we go 70%, full stick down, and then slowly increase the speed. Manflex 66 SRS, all thrust blue. $100 knots.
Lead 1.
Rotate. Bars rate. Gear up. Autopilot 1. 9 is loud. Jeez. 136-125. Just see Lufthansa 7 Bravo.
PT-161, wind 200 degrees, 11 knots, runway 180 for takeoff. Clear for takeoff.
So, thrust line, climb out blue.
125, decimal 2, choose, wind me late on 7.
Langen Abend, die Lufthansa 7 Bravo, 2,800, climbing 4,000.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo, Langen Radar, Abend identified, climbed by a SIT flight level 110.
By a SIT, climb level 110, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Flaps 0, speed checked, flaps 0, 2,500, no problem whatsoever.
For flight 428,
Tax.
right heading 060, descend 4,000.
So much to do.
Right 060 and descend 4,000 feet for flight 428.
Who's the FO? Me. Ah, it stopped raining.
For flight 428, contact director 118, decimal 5, course and only channel. 18.5, course and only for flight 428, choose.
Easy Martin, phone
Right, set standard.
500 feet up to 4,000 feet.
Standard cross checked, passing.
Easy 161,
50.
radar, good evening, identified.
Now checked.
I'm unrestricted, flight level 130.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 130,
Crosswind, there's the link. It's from Flight Sim Factory. Alright, 7 degrees. Believe the anti-eye is on. Yeah, MCK, it's a really weird situation at the moment. I agree. It is weird.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, contact Langen Radar 125, decimal 2, schönen Abend, ciao.
1252, vielen Dank, dir auch. Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
Negative, frequency 125.350, 2535.
Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra, sagt ein Dilemma Indus, cleared Spesa 3 Bravo arrival.
Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra, cleared Spesa 3 Bravo arrival and the rest, say again.
There was no rest, just arrival, that's good.
Watch Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra.
Langen Abend, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, out of 9, climbing 110.
Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra, confirm Spesa 3 Bravo arrival.
Yeah, Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra affirm. Spesa
You did not see that.
And start your descent, please. Flight level 110 to the level.
You did not see that. Nobody saw that. Nobody.
Good, then Speedway 99 Golf, hello, identified.
Oh my god.
Lufthansa 6 Alpha Mike for traffic, right heading 090.
I apologize for the inconvenience
Lufthansa 9 Papa Sierra, speed
and for blowing your eardrums.
270, Papa Sierra.
Now we have to find out who opened the window, for crying out loud. And Langen hello, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, level 110.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Langen and Navend identified, climb flight level 230.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, climb level 230. So, thrust climb.
Discovery, good evening.
At blue, 230.
Bravo 2 Bravo arrival.
Hey Hendrik, how you doing? Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is your profile.
Lufthansa 9er Delta, speed 270.
And it definitely fixed the bright night lighting, yeah. And you say the bright cirrus clouds will be fixed in the next version. Roger that.
134.64.
So it's fairly quiet, so we'll release the cabin.
LL 895, descent flight level 180, contact Swiss 134.6, choose.
Hey Brad, how are you doing? Greetings.
Lufthansa 75, contact Frankfurt arrival 125.350, choose.
Arrival 12535.
So, are we out of clouds?
Lufthansa 9er Papa Sierra,
not quite.
Spesa.
Not quite.
Direct Spesa, Lufthansa 9er Papa Sierra.
Turkish 6 Foxtrot Alpha, speed 250. Ryanair 61 Juliet, right heading 070, speed 270.
Ryanair 61 Juliet, right heading 070 and speed 270. Ryanair 61 Juliet.
Speedway 9er Victor, descent to reach flight level 250 at Delta Kilo Bravo.
Hey Tevez, how you doing? Sorry MSK, which part are you at? In the real EFB? So let's do performance. No, actually, let's do secondary. Copy active. Then we'll clear out the RATNAV page. Secondary copy active. I've done that already. Flight plan fix info. Delete. Yes, exactly, MCK. And the scary thing is, that chart is actually extremely
Austrian 271, contact Langen 124,
accurate.
725.
The routing stick figure, I'm sorry for that, the command doesn't work here, but I can tell you the routing here. So it's Cindy 4 Sierra, Cindy, Zulu 74, Lampu, then direct number, Yankee 161 Rida, Uniform Zulu 98 to Valda, Tango 702 Badit, and then direct to, on the arrival Badit to Romeo.
When ready, descent flight level 100 via star. Cleared MPAX for Bravo arrival and when ready, descending flight level 100 via star. Lufthansa 6 Alpha Mike, direct Spesa. Direct Spesa, Lufthansa 6 Alpha Mike. Lufthansa 9er Foxtrot Alpha, left heading 180.
Well, it's a mixture as far as I understood it. It looks at radar images, so satellite radar images, but also SIGMETs. But I don't think PIREPs, no.
Lufthansa 9er Foxtrot Alpha, nee, andersrum, flight level 120.
So, secondary flight plan. Let's try the Yankee approach then. Oh, yeah, it was Yankee someone said we should try.
Nee. Lufthansa 9er Foxtrot Alpha. Left heading 180, Steuerkurs Süd und descent flight level 120.
Oh, you're right.
12,000 Fuß.
Hey, hey.
Sorry, okay, left 180 and...
How come that is in?
Kein Problem. Discovery, right heading 360, descent flight level 120.
That is interesting. Yeah, it's
Yep, correct.
it's authorization required.
Austria 271.
Austrian 271, ich firm call Langen, please. 124725.
124725. Sorry, no more. Austria 271.
So 834, 835.
Turkish 6 Foxtrot Alpha, contact
And an A36, so-
125-350G.
So this is the Victor approach, the one that we programmed earlier on.
Lufthansa 9er Delta, direct Spesa.
Yeah, so, I mean, it has the same waypoints, so we might as well use it.
Midway 9er Victor, contact München arrival, 123-9er, tschüss.
München arrival on 123.9er, Midway 9er Victor, schönen Abend noch.
Turkish 2 Bravo Tango, contact Reims Control 128.3, tschüss.
The cool thing is, it has a profile programmed as well. Yeah, so we shall do that. We'll use that then at star. That's fine.
Condor 379er, contact
I know the FSLabs doesn't have radius to fix capability, but still, we'll use it. I mean, in the real aircraft, we have a company overlay procedure, which is pretty much the same as you saw there.
Lufthansa 9er Foxtrot Alpha, left heading 090, descent flight level.
Wow, look at the econ speed. And that's because of that wind. Lol. So you have a cost index of 5, and that what comes out of it, looking at that wind.
Direct Spesa, Ryanair 61, yes.
Langen Radar, Delta India Mike Papa Kilo, good evening sir, flight level 100.
Delta India Mike Papa Kilo, Langen, hello, identified.
Soars. Yeah, so Yaroslav, yeah, we'll see what they give us. Wow, 280, 20, gust 35. Ooh, that's nasty. That is nasty weather.
Windmill 897, unfortunately Munich has left. Maybe that's a technical problem, but he's not there for the moment, so for now it's gonna be Unicom 122.8. Schönen Abend, tschüss.
122.8, vielen Dank für den Service, tschüss, mit 897.
Und Lufthansa 71 Bravo, same goes to you. Munich has left for some unknown reason. He may be back soon. I don't know, but for now it's gonna be Unicom 122.8. Good Flug.
Ja, kein Problem. 122.8. Einen schönen Abend, die Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Ciao. The RLAF, yes, of course. The thing is, so MCK, what we can't use is the LPV minimum. But I know it's confusing. That chart is now kind of merged. So we have LPV, LNAV, VNAV minimum, or just LNAV minimum. So the difference is that we don't have an identifier for the EGNOS in our prime flight display. So, and we don't have the equipment to fly LPV minimas. Well, it's not, so the EGNOS part is required for the LPV, not for the LNAV VNAV minimum. But MCK, the first time I saw those new charts, the new Lido charts, I had exactly the same question. Yeah, MCK, I know. I had the same confusion when I saw that for the first time. Saurus, hey Blackbox, I would like to know how do you have the deliveries on community folder, but doesn't work for me. The deliveries. Have you made sure it's just the delivery folder and not the main folder where you have a subfolder? NLN, I know. It's just, you know, the company will always look at cost factor and how useful it's going to be in this case. And if, you know, you don't really need LPV minimas because you have, you know, a good ILS frequency coverage, then yeah, they won't integrate it for now. Exactly, yeah. So just like Toto writes there, the LPV is a simulated, if you like, a simulated glide slope and localizer, even though it's still based on GPS data, but it behaves like ILS glide slope and localizer. And so as you get closer to the runway, the more sensitive the display gets regarding the offset. And hence, there's less obstacles that you have to take into consideration the closer you get to the runway. If it's an LPV or LNAV VNAV minimum, sorry, LNAV VNAV minimum, then it's a parallel approach, so linear approach path, and there it does not get more sensitive as you get closer to the runway, and that's the difference. I think I had some files on that as well, didn't I? Some time back. Let me just check that here. I'm pretty sure I had lots of explanation there. Give me a second, I'll find something. There we go. So that's the LPV. So localizer performance of vertical guidance. So it starts out at 1 mile. It gets closer to 700 feet. And that's for the LNAV VNAV guidance, so 0.3 nautical miles. The same goes for the slope. So VNAV, again, it's linear, while the LPV has a glide slope characteristic. So if you are at 1 mile out, it has 148 feet range for 2 dots high, 2 dots low, while over the threshold, 2 dots high to 2 dots low is only 18 feet range. Oh, we actually have ATIS. ATIS, and we have Tower in Salzburg. Fantastic, that's really cool. And we have approach as well. 23.725. Pre-dial that. 725. That's really cool. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so it's based on the GPS. Is it GPS vertical position then? And it's independent of the barometric altitude. So we have information in Salzburg that is echo, and we have runway 33. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to go with the Victor Yankee approach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah, understood. Yeah. Right, so we've got 280, 20 gust 35. Now we need to look at our plan B in a second, guys. It's going to get very hectic very quickly. And we don't have much time. Temperature 8. It's so weird. I'm hearing news that there's so much snow in Bavaria and Austria. I'm confused. I honestly don't know where exactly that is supposed to be, because it is really warm. So for the Victor, it's minimum 394. Oh, that's very high actually. Ooh, it should work out. 3980. Let's keep fingers crossed that we have ground contact and runway in sight there. We need 5 kilometers visibility. We have 10 and a ceiling at 2,600. So officially we have broken 4,200. But if we're unlucky, active sky might close us the cloud cover at lower altitudes. We'll see. NL, exactly that. And Kinkreet, hello to you. How are you doing? And Luke says that your parents' place and Austin Alps, there's like lots of snow. Okay. There we go. For descent planning, cross Meerbeck, roughly 8,000. Reach latest Bardit. So, expect Meerbeck. And 23.9. I told you it's going to get hectic now. We're at descent point as well.
Heading 290, 5,000 feet, cleared ILS 26 left.
Servus München, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, level 230.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, München, hello, identified.
First-class cabin.
Hey, the King, 03.
Windmill 897, passing level 170.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the 3 months. Oh, sorry, 12 months. And that's a Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, the King. That's really kind.
1023.
Turn heading 170, descend 6000, QNH 1023, speedway 99 Victor.
897, standby short.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Yankee. Yeah, you're right. Got confused with the. So we need RP 03, and we got a minimum for the Yankee approach at 1790.
Flight level 190.
Clamp sit, flight level 190, Lufthansa 5 from Charlie.
Yeah, you're right.
München Namen, Lufthansa 2 Mike Charlie, flight level 70.
Lufthansa 2 Mike Charlie, München, servos identified, climb by sit, flight level 190.
Climb by sit 190, Lufthansa 2 Mike Charlie.
München approach, please confirm heading 170, speedway 99 Victor.
Tricky gotcha. Please, imagine your final pitch fix has an at or above constraint. Oh yeah, okay. And Lufthansa 71 Bravo standing by for descent. Has it just locked off again?
Sorry, we got some technical issues. The last 2 stations calling, say again, please.
Yeah, Lufthansa 71 Bravo standing by for descent.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, descent flight level 130.
Descent level 130, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Right, thrust out descent, out blue 130. And we're expecting Meerbeck 80. Let's put that to below.
999 Victor heading 070, same again.
And transition level 110. So this thing in real life, you have to realize the German border.
Windmill 897 descent
goes very close to Salzburg city.
8000 QNH 1023, windmill 897.
Lufthansa 2 Mike Charlie, switch Unicom 122.8, tschüss.
So they have to coordinate normally
Charlie.
the transition.
Lufthansa 5 Romeo Charlie, switch Unicom 122.8, AD.
122.8 for Lufthansa 5 Romeo Charlie.
Correct, 1228.
Thank you, bye.
Giving some max, what about speed for us?
So, regarding auto brake setting, if I remember correctly, they normally appreciate if you are able to make Charlie, but that is quite sporty. But let's see if we can do that. Auto brake medium should be able to do it with that wind. 62.6, yeah, that's fine. And to 80-20, config full anti-ice. Let's put engine anti-ice on, aircon on, wet runway, braking action good, calculate. Yeah, Totis, it's one of those things, isn't it, that you have to be careful with these kind of approaches. And if you're not familiar with them or not flying them too often, well, that's going to take a lot of braking force, though. So we may not be able to make it, but we'll see.
897, first locator Severs, unfortunately you are very broken. I confirm you're requesting the RNP Victor for runway 33.
I just found out
Victor runway 33.
897
that my trim wheel,
Victor runway 33,
that trim wheel here
6,000 feet, QNH 102.
is set to the
6,000
flaps.
feet, QNH 1022.
I finally found the culprit, which moves the flaps here in the FSLabs.
Radio check, Volta Tonana.
35, danke.
I need to deactivate that. Good, so descending, auto brake medium, RatNav, let's put Salzburg VUR in there. So we want Sierra Bravo Golf. And anything else we need?
Let's 897 direct whiskey Sierra 833.
Let's put Sierra India. Just to help us navigate.
Sierra 833, clear the RMP Victor runway 33.
And Sierra Bravo Golf beacon. 382.
3-2 hotel, contact tower 1181.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
briefing.
Oh, 181. Okay.
We're flying the Badit 2 Romeo arrival to Salzburg, then hopefully followed by the Arnaf Yankee runway 33. The altitudes or sector altitudes are very high, so we're mostly going to be looking at contour layers, because otherwise the MSAs go above 10,000 feet in the south west and southeast. So we have to make sure that we have the required navigation position and also our verified position, and make sure that we stay on path. So the minimum for the approach is set at 1790 baro, and the missed approach, so if we don't have visual contact at the minimums, we follow the missed approach to Sierra 831, and we're climbing to 6,000 feet.
Windmill 897, descent 5,000 feet.
Descent 5,000 feet, windmill 897.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Salzburg.
Yeah.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Salzburg, radar service, radar contact, information Foxtrot is current, expect RNP Yankee, runway 33, descend 8,000 feet, QNH 1022.
Descent 8,000, QNH 1022, and we expect the RNP Yankee in Salzburg, runway 33, thank you. So let's descend quickly. So we're going to check again the entered QNH with the ATIS QNH, so that's 1022. So set QNH. QNH is cross-checked. 1022 passing 12,900 now. That is checked. So missed approach, as we said, we go according to the waypoints over the runway to Whiskey Sierra 831, climbing 6,000. We currently have extra fuel. Let's have a look. 2 tons, it says. Now, I don't know, the final time is probably wrong. So let me just check that again.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, direct Whiskey Sierra 833, descend 5,000 feet, cleared RMP Yankee, runway 33.
Direct Whiskey Sierra 833, descent 5,000 and cleared the RMP Yankee, runway 33, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. Right, everything's set. Good. So OFP and the Munich requires 1.1. There you go. That's why.
At flight level 300. Then a 567, Salzburg radar, Servus radar contact, descend, when ready descend flight level 1.
Let's get the latest METARs for that.
Expect the RMP Yankee approach for runway.
Seatbelts on. Lights on.
Descend on flight level 120 and reach Matic and expect.
Yeah, we're coming into the path.
Yankee approach runway 33, Air 567.
Bayerischer Wald has 70 centimeters. Nice. So we're at 250 knots, but we still have good tailwind, so we need to get down. And I'm going to enter required 0.3 on both sides.
Windmill 897 report, indicated airspeed.
I also report the threshold 33.
Windmill 897, indicated airspeed is now 220 knots.
Excuse me, 8-7, maintain 200 knots or greater.
So that's all prepared, that's
200
good.
or greater, Windmill 897.
Landing flap setting config full, we do automatic medium.
220 knots or less.
220 knots or less, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. So let's slow down here, speed brakes are out. So fully managed, we'll do that until we're on final at some point, then we go flight direct off bird on. Yeah, planned runway exit was Charlie, otherwise we expedite vacating at the end Bravo. But we'll talk to the tower about this later on. So tower is 18.1.
8-7, contact tower 118.1. Bye-bye.
So we'll coordinate that with the tower.
1 Servus, Windmill 897.
Special, well, RMP Yankee, flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1. Let's go 200 knots. What else? Threats, high terrain. A very tight turning radius. So in case of a go around, we stay at flaps 2 until we have that turn finished. The wind today will help us on the track outbound. I'm going to take terrain mode as well because there's not really much weather. Lol. I'll put radar on this side. Let's not jinx it. All right, let's not jinx it. Non-standard. I mean, wind shear. We talked about it extensively on the ground in Frankfurt. If there is a wind shear call out, reactive, predictive, or if we determine it to be a wind shear, it's wind shear toga. We'll go and follow the commands of the flight director. And then once we're out of the wind shear situation, we'll go around flaps and continue with that. Oh, hyperactive. In case of the iFly 737, yeah. But I mean, it's either, look at that. It's either the true turb or real turb. because we are getting some nice turbulence here. Good. Another thing to mention, I didn't specifically say that, but the final approach point is Whiskey Sierra 834, and we're already inbound to that. And so once we reach 5,000 out start, here comes the VDEF.
7 Bravo, free speed, dankeschön.
Free speed, dankeschön, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. We'll go approach arm. So we've got final approach set, and descent is going to be at Whiskey Sierra 834. And I'm going to go flaps. Oh, hang on, there's a little bit of a wind gust there. Flaps 2, speed is check, flaps 2.
Delta Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Tango.
Elevation is 1,400 feet.
675, schöne Landung, servus.
Final approach is active, that's good. So missed approach 6,000 is set.
Salzburg approach, Thomas
right, there's the runway.
Kilo, checking in with you, passing 4,300.
There's Salzburg, downtown. Right, I have no idea how this is going to pan out, so here comes gear down.
Climb flight level 120, Tomjet 20.
Accuracy's high. Alright, approach checklist. We have Bravo Ref.
71 Bravo, Contact Tower 118.1, schöne Landung, servus.
Ja, vielen Dank. Vielleicht bis gleich. 18.1 Lufthansa 7 Bravo. So, seatbelts on. Minimum Baro 1790 set. Yeah, QNH was 1022. And the auto brake is medium. Engine mode selector is normal. Salzburg Tower, Namen die Lufthansa 71 Bravo on the RP Yankee 33.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, Salzburg Tower, servus. Continue, wind check 280 degrees, 17 knots, maximum 3 knots.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Lufthansa 7 Bravo, danke. Flaps 3, speed is check, flaps 3. And flaps full, speed is check, flaps full. So,
Alpha 4 Golf, Foxtrot, wind 280 degrees, 17 knots, maximum 3 knots, runway 33, clear for takeoff, no delay.
No delay, clear for takeoff at 2,500.
It's checked, so that's the distance to runway, that's fine.
Wind middle 897, welcome to Salzburg.
Remember,
taxi straight ahead, exit section.
Hey Luki.
Echo 8 is your send, Echo 8.
Straight ahead, Echo 8,
yeah,
and
this is
some small wind shear on final, leading to somewhat hard landing.
Copy that.
So we confirm the QNH again with the tower in a second. Lufthansa 7 Bravo for procedure, please confirm the latest QNH.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, QNH 1022.
1022, copied, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Right, there we go. I am gonna...
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, wind 280 degrees, 17 knots, maximum 3 knots, proceeding aircraft reported, wind shear on final, runway 33, clear to land.
That's copied with the wind shear, runway 33, clear to land, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Right, landing checklist, Icamimo landing, no blue.
Alpha 4 Golf, Foxtrot, contact Salzburg radar 123.725, bye.
123.725.
Right, this will be interesting. Here comes the turn. Actually, I can take the progress page here. So 3 miles. Oh, come on. You can do this. Yeah.
Alpaca 6 Juliet Mike, behind next arriving.
Autopilot's fighting. There's the runway. Just a little bit high, it says. So.
Daniel landing aircraft avoid on runway 33 behind Alpaca 6 Juliet Mike.
Let's see if we cover that.
1,000.
1,000 is checked. Manual thrust already. .30 feet high. There we go. 1 red, 3 white. Looking good. On path, speed is good. Done the checklist, clear to land. And we got 2 miles, 600 feet, looking good. Manual flight. Flight director off. Bird on. So
500.
Oh!
100 above.
Sorry. Oh, a bit of wind shear there. Oh, come on.
400.
There we go.
Minimum.
Continue. Let's get the
300.
drift angle correct. Oh, look at that. Wind shear. Oh, can we recover? No, we recovered. All good. Whoa, that was a short wind shear down.
Alpaca 7 Sierra Mike on stand. Whiskey 7, startup complete, request taxi.
Sync rate.
Oh, go around. Wind shear toga.
Alpaca 7 Sierra Mike, watching the
Mantoga, SS, and nav.
So, I call you.
Whoa, that was... Lufthansa 7 Bravo wind shear going around.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo, Roger, continue.
Continue, 7 Bravo. Right, without wind shear, it seems. Go around. Thrust climb, open climb, thrust, auto thrust. Flaps 3, positive climb.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo,
Gear up.
continue as published. Contact radar 125.
As published, 1 through 3, 7 to 5, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Jump. Autopilot 1. Flaps 1. Speed is checked. Why don't flaps go to 3?
Red nose, it's 3-5, 900 meters tower, go ahead.
Startup is complete and we're ready for taxi at Whiskey 4.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
That's from the south, that is RMP
The
Zulu,
pitch
RMP
looked
Yankee from the
normal,
north,
and I just saw we had 1400 feet per minute descent.
For now, turn heading 09.
And then we had the sync rate call out. Blimey. Flaps 0, speed is checked, flaps 0. And I'm going to go selected speed 220.
06, Frankfurt Servus, radar contact, expect the RMP Zulu runway 33, descent flight level 130.
So fuel.
Expect RMP Zulu runway 33 and descent level 130.
So we have half an hour extra. Salzburg approach. Hello again from Lufthansa 7 Bravo in the missed approach, approaching 6,000.
7-1 Bravo, Salzburg, Servus, radar contact, expect RMP Yankee runway 33.
RP Yankee 33, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. Yeah, so everything was fine, apart from the last little bit.
Ryanair 567.
So I'm willing to try a second approach. We have the fuel, but let me just get the weather for Munich one more time.
Proceed direct Whiskey Sierra 834 and clear the RMP Yankee runway.
Come on, you can do it.
567.
Vertical speed, out blue.
Reduce final approach speed.
Reduce final approach speed, 06.
Clear RMP Zulu 33.
Clear RMP Zulu 33, 06.
So let's have a look. Munich currently 270, 21 gust 33. Linz has actually a little bit better weather.
Alpaca 4 Foxtrot München is offline, Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
So I'll tell you what we'll do.
Delta Charlie Oscar, for your planning purposes, I'm going to give you a turn towards the northbound for further descent and then a turn back to the RMP. Confirm you have the RMP Yankee loaded now?
I've loaded the right approach and we'll effect your selection.
Yeah, it's about the same. That's about 1 ton.
Delta Charlie Oscar, turn
So
left,
we'll
heading
go with Linz as the alternate airport. Although Munich will be more fun because of the ATC.
Turn left 020, descending 7,000 feet. Delta Charlie Oscar, Charlie Oscar.
And 06, just to confirm, we're also clear to descend via the RMP Zulu.
06, just want to call you descent 11,500 feet and affirm you're clear to descend further with the RP approach.
Sounds 11,500 cleared for descent via the approach 06.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, turn right heading 050.
Right, heading 050, Lufthansa 7 Bravo. That was quite a slammer, minus 487. There we go. Fun approach though. Moritz, well done. Yeah, we're on live weather. And I'm not going to change anything with the sensitivity settings. So either we go into land within, limits, and otherwise...
Bravo descent 5,000 feet, and you can expect a turn to Whiskey Sierra 834 in about 1 to 2 minutes.
It's copied descending 5,000, Lufthansa 7-1 Bravo. So we'll activate the approach phase again.
Delta Charlie Oscar, turn further left heading 310.
Delta Charlie Oscar left 310.
So same procedure, briefing remains the same. And missed approach, same procedure if we have under the wind shear. But next time, if we go around again, we'll divert to... Well, I'd prefer Linz. Because that is quite some gusty wind there. So Munich has threats, so that's not really a valid alternate airport right now. Vienna has wind shear, 2.9, and they had a lot of wind there as well. So Linz to me seemed the most stable. I'm not sure if I have...
Bravo, right turn direct Whiskey Sierra 834, cleared RMP Yankee 33.
Direct to Whiskey Sierra 834 and cleared the RMP Yankee runway 33, Lufthansa 7-1 Bravo. Thank you. Right, alt start.
Bravo speed, let's make it 160 knots, please.
That's copied 160 on the speed, Lufthansa 7-1 Bravo. Flaps 1, speed is checked. Flaps 1, speed 160.
Right, 567, tower 1181.
Tower 118, decimal 1, remain 567, there was.
Flaps 2, speed is checked. Flaps 2. Yeah, Moritz, I don't know, because I have
Delta Charlie Oscar, left
real turb installed. Do you have real turb as well?
Delta Charlie Oscar, 6,000 feet, 250 the heading.
No, Graz is further away, Lilo.
And 36. Is it possible to get the local QNH so we can set up for RMP Zulu?
36, local QNH 1022.
1022, 36. Thank you.
Salzburg approach, guten Abend, the Austin 245.
The runway track is 263, so that's about 15 knot crosswind with the gusts.
245, Salzburg Radar 7 radar contact, expect RMP Yankee, runway 33, Foxtrot is correct, descend 7,000 feet.
Descending 7,000 feet, RMP Yankee, requesting RMP Victor, runway 33, Austin 245.
The 245, roger, expect
So how many track miles do we have? 20, so that's about 200 kilograms of fuel, 2.9. And min diversion, would be well, about 2.3. Yeah, that's fine. So we still have about 600 more than required.
Delta Charlie Oscar, speed 160 knots.
It is bumpy, 55 knots. I can tell you. If you look at the terrain here in Salzburg, as soon as the wind comes from, let's say, southwest.
7 Bravo, slight change of plan, unfortunately. Speed 180 or greater.
Yeah, no problem. 180 or greater. Lufthansa 7-1 Bravo. You do get these mountain waves. So lots of turbulence, and I have to say, anybody going into Salzburg tonight in these conditions and having to fly that circling or that RNF approach, GG. I mean, hey Vinny. I mean, this is a flight simulator, but I think you can kind of grasp the tension and the stress the pilots will be under. And the only thing really to mitigate those threats is to have just a good plan B. Just have a, you know, don't be focused too tightly on landing. Focus more on diverting, in the sense that you know, it's not so terrible to just accept the fact that you can't land in these conditions here. Yeah, the wave effect, yeah, exactly. Yes, I will. So we'll do one more approach. If we go around again because of either I mess it up or because of the wind and wind shear, then we'll just divert to Linz. Although I have to admit, you know what? I think for the stream, but the wind is so, because I do have scenery there. Munich 27. That's pretty much headwind as well. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go with final approach.
So 71 Bravo, once again Tower 1181, Servus.
18-1, vielen Dank, Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
919.
So missed approach 6,000 sets. Gears coming down.
Scandinavian 919.
Hey, Tibixki. Chris, yeah. Yeah, it was working fine today.
Thank you. Salzburg Tower 06 on the RMP Zulu 3D.
Flaps 3.
06, Salzburg Tower 7. Continue wind check 2017 knots, maximum 31 knots.
Wow.
Continue and wind is copied 06.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll go with Munich.
Star 6 and you're number 2 for arrival, so reduce to approach speed.
Reducing the final approach speed, Star 6.
Tower service again, Lufthansa 71 Bravo, RP Yankee 33.
Lufthansa 7 Bravo, that's Tower 7 again, I'll continue, 1 departure end.
That's copied, continue. Please confirm QNH again, Lufthansa 71 Bravo.
71 Bravo, QNH is still 10.
1022, thank you, 71 Bravo. Right. Yeah, the real tire buff.
Maximum 31 knots, runway 33.
Exactly, yeah.
Runway 33 clear for takeoff, Alpaca 70 Mike.
Alpaca 70 Mike.
Flaps full, speed is checked, flaps full.
And maintain runway heading for 70 Mike.
Runway 567 Mike, it's runway 33 at Bravo.
Right, 567, come to Salzburg, that's 67, correction, exit 2, via Lima and exit 3.
Exit span, exit 2 via Lima and exit 3, runway 567.
Right, 567, actually take echo 4.
Exit span.
Yeah, really, exactly. So just waiting for the checklist. It may pop a bit later now. After the go around, we'll see. Some just departing. And there's Salzburg there.
71 Bravo, wind 280 degrees, 17 knots, maximum 31 knots. You are clear to land runway 33 and wind shear on final. You probably landed on your own.
Yeah, the wind shear is copied, clear land 33, and if we can, do you prefer Charlie for a backtrack, or shall we go to the end, Bravo?
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, you can take Bravo at the end.
Okay, Bravo at the end, that's copied, 71 Bravo. Right, so we're going to go all break low in this case. So, landing checklist, ECAMIMO landing, no blue, landing checklist completed. Oh, blimey.
Rental 3593, just for weather.
Manual flight. Speed is checked.
There's heavy rain rolling in for visibility.
Come on.
Red nose 3593, roger, that is complete. Is this something you're interested in your departure?
One more time.
You don't see this happening. I don't know. I don't see it happening either.
Is
but
this something which is interfering in your departure?
We'll see.
Negative, it's for arrival traffic.
So just a bit high there, come on.
On the visual.
1,000.
1,000 is checked. Still a bit high. Let's correct that. Come on. I have a tough time getting down.
Salzburg radar, just for 725, fine.
Speed is checked. Blimey, come on.
Yeah, 70 Mike, thanks, ATC, goodbye.
Wow, again, a really strong downdraft.
Delta Charlie Oscar, that's tower 7, continue.
100 above. 400. Minimum.
Continue. Right, I'm just waiting now for the wind shear. There it is again. Come on, can we recover?
That's what's going on. The Austrian 245 on the
Blimey!
Austrian 245, Salzburg tower
20.
7.
Retard. Retard.
Continue.
Come on. Come on.
5.
Come on. Oh, a bit flary. Spoilers! Reverse
Now
green.
that's how pros do it.
Salzburg Tower, Scandinavian 9019er, ready for
Manual
pushback taxi.
brakes.
Stand by.
Blimey. I'm sweating here. Jesus. Right, here comes Bravo.
Sparrow 6,
70 knots checked.
Sparrow 6, right? Sparrow 6, go around, go around. Climb as published on heading 330.
I hope that wasn't because of me.
Scan is published heading 330, Sparrow 6.
I hope that wasn't because of me.
Then 25, correction 245 to approach speed.
Approach speed, Austin 245.
Delta Charlie Oscar, wind 280, run 7 knots, maximum 31 knots, runway 33, clear to land.
Delta Charlie Oscar, runway 33, cleared to land.
No, hang on.
Lufthansa 71 Bravo, willkommen in Salzburg finally. Taxi gate X2 via Lima and exit 3.
Lima, exit 3, and then stand Echo 2, Lufthansa 71 Bravo. I feel like... Whew.
Sparrow 6, protect radar 1, 2, decimal correction 1, 2, 3, decimal 75, goodbye.
1, 2, 3, 75, bye bye, 36.
Red Nose 359 unfortunately you have to wait a little more, so there are 2 more aircraft coming before your departure is ready.
Okay, Russia, that's Red Nose 3593, we'll wait here.
After landing checklist, radar predictive winch system is off.
Any other aircraft calling for clearance? Confirm.
Hey Robert, that's fantastic. Happy to hear that. No, Sir Hawkins, the problem is I have the real turb add-on.
159 information for the current you're cleared Manchester.
So I don't know how much that interferes. With the flight model, etc.
Cleared Ghent off for restriction 159.
So here comes exit 3. Just need to find... Actually, let me get some shenanigans here. So Echo 2, follow me, yes please. We'll take Tyrolean.
Awesome, 73.
Wow, he stopped fast. What happened with... What?
Face south.
Hang on, that's Delta. How can he get Delta?
Current aircraft is not parked on stand. Echo 4, thank you. Engine flash shutdown, thank you sir. Control, truth.
Thanks for flying, bye bye. Break north, 25,
Hello. What's that rider? I don't know. Where's my follow me? Where is he? Oh, you had one job.
Behind the arriving
Seriously. Now I have to get them.
Charlie, Oscar, please hold position.
So Echo 2 is between those two, it seems. Landing with parking brake on, that's my initial thought.
Delta Charlie, Oscar, thank you. Continue taxi out Lima to complete.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, the way the weather is simulated in P3D has little to do with what's going on in real life. But, I mean, at least...
Bravo, you stand for you. Take Echo 4, that is port left.
Echo 4 is copied. Lufthansa 7-1 Bravo. So,
you are ready for taxi.
you just have to cope somehow, and just be aware that...
Cabin 919, so no pushback should be required for you, so with the right turn, you can taxi out.
Confirmed, right turn, just taxi out, Scandinavian 919.
There we go.
Scandinavian 919.
Yeah, just be aware that it's tough sometimes here in P3D. It's either too little or too much.
Taxiway taxiway Lima to runway 33.
But like I said, just take it as it comes and then enjoy it. Oh, here's Echo 4. Right, that's a tight fit though, isn't it? What kind of aircraft is that? And where is he parked? Oh, he's not parked on his stand, is he? He's like miles off. Right, we'll just ignore him. Right, we're going to close the left eye. Lol. And my marshaller is in the building. I have like no idea where he is.
Now, 5, direction C59 or C, you are after runway heading, wind wait between 1 of C9
He was blown away by the wind, yeah. Wherever he is, he's not here. So brakes are on. Let's get the APU bleed on.
Austin 245, willkommen zu Salzburg. Taxi stand Echo 1 via Lima Exit 3. Echo 1, Lima Exit 3.
Hey Murky, good Abend. Right, where's my...
Austin 572, confirm your call for clearance.
Where's my service? Connections, let's get GPU, chocks. And let's get deboarding. Oh, don't tell me that we... Quattle quit. Alright, forget it. We're not going to get GSX. They just quit. Yeah, in the A320 it doesn't matter. It's not just like the 737 that you have one pump running. Here it doesn't matter. APU has its own pump if necessary. Right, parking checklist. Parking brake or chock. Parking brake or chock. Chocks are in place. At least I ordered them. Yeah, they are in place. So brakes released. We have engines off. Wing lights off. And fuel pumps off. Parking check is completed. Sorry for Sim Caesar. Sorry for the late call out, Sim Caesar. I hope you're doing well. big shout out. And Sim Caesar, we need to get into a shared flight soon. I could say that Tollis is running extremely nice. I know you're not a big fan of the 319, but I can teach you. Yeah, Tollis runs really nice. Come on. Come on. Another lufty. Oh, show off. Right on the marker. Oh yeah, by the way, yes. So Mark is brave enough to go on a shared flight with me next week, Wednesday. We're doing Vienna, Venice, and then return Venice, Vienna. So each of us will be pilot monitoring and pilot flying at some stage. Hendrik, I have to say, yeah, that preset that you have, that shader preset, that looks nice. I like it. Very nice. Wow, how do they do that? His brakes must be on fire now. Formula Mo, yes, it's still in beta, yeah. But you can apply, and there's always some openings regarding the beta version. So you might as well try it. Cool. Guys, that will be it for today with airliners. I'm going to hop into DCS now in about 15 minutes. I'm just going to mess about a bit in the Apache and maybe the F-16. On the community server, if anybody wants to join there, do so. And our next stream, regular stream, is on Wednesday. And like I mentioned, we'll do a shared flight with Lindley in the Tollis. And I can tell you that the scenery looks fantastic. So in Vienna and in Venice, absolutely lovely scenery. Very much looking forward to it. Okay, so have a great weekend, everyone. Exactly. Good night, Voyager. Have a great weekend, everyone. Flying Wolf, yeah. And all the best for your flight, Wolf, yeah. Poor Mark. Yeah, in X-Plane 12, Luke, yeah. X-Plane 12. Yeah, and then Lee will be next. So I already contacted Lee for the next victim to fly with me, shared flight. And then we'll see who's next after that. All right. Okay, good guys. My dear moderators, thank you so much for all the help. Love you guys, and so I'll see you soon. So Sim Caesar's already left. I think he streamed today or streams today. We'll see. Actually, is he on right now? Let me just check if he is streaming right now. No, he's not. Right, let's hand you over to Two Tone Murphy. Although, I mean, I'm streaming in a couple of minutes. That doesn't make sense, does it? All right, so yeah, DCS in about 15 minutes. Oh, there we go, Sim Caesar. Ah, okay, Sim Caesar. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. And yeah, I'll talk to you on Discord if you have time. I'll give you a shout. And then, like I said, Sim Caesar, I can only say that. Oh, now it's starting to snow or rain. It's running really, really well in shared flight. So it's a fantastic, enjoyable experience. And you'll learn to fly the A319 in no time. It's so easy to do. I mean, it literally flies on its own. So it's just a lot of acting to make it look complicated, but it's not. It's actually fairly easy. But don't tell anyone, all right? Don't tell anyone I said that. All right, guys. Good night, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Can we watch while I teach? Well, that depends. That depends the real Tyrogoth. That depends on Sim Caesar if he wants to. I know, Sim Caesar. I know, but trust me. I'll have you up to pro level in no time. Take my word for it. All right. Good night, everyone. Have a great